Manchester United pursuing 60 million euros deal for Dani Olmo. Massive boost in United's pursuit of Lenny Yoro. Joshua Zirkzee set to fly to Manchester this evening ahead of his official medical tomorrow at Carrington. And the Ligt Ugarte deals soon come. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this evening's show. But before we get into that, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 1,000 likes on this evening's show. We got the here we go for Zirkzee today. The mood is positive. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm live every single day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6 p.m. UK time. So make sure you get involved. Only 50% of people who currently watch our videos are subscribed. So if this is your first time watching, please do get involved. It's the best place for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Right, so much to get into on the show this evening. The mood is positive. I'm a happy man. Joshua Zirkzee is a here we go. We spoke about it a little bit earlier on today on the show, but let's do a little recap. Honestly, I am so happy with this Joshua Zirkzee deal. I've been watching interviews with him all afternoon. Go and watch some interviews with him, honestly. He seems like a really nice guy. I know we're not buying him because he's a nice guy. We're buying him because he's a good footballer. But just go and watch some interviews with Joshua Zirkzee. Like, he seems really down to earth, really hard working, and somebody who I think is going to do really well at Manchester United. So just to give you a bit of a roundup of what's going on with Joshua Zirkzee, Manchester United have agreed a deal for £35.7 million pounds. Okay? His release clause was 34 million. Manchester United said, we don't want to pay the release clause. I'll tell you why in a minute. Instead, they negotiated a deal for 35.7 million. So we've actually paid 1.7 million more than what his release clause is. Now, the reason for that is because the release clause had to be paid in full in cash up front. So if Manchester United want to sign Joshua Zirkzee and pay the release clause, they would have had to give in Bologna 34 million right now, which is unusual. Most transfers are spread across 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Like, for example, we're still paying Leicester for Harry Maguire at the moment. So instead, Manchester United said to Bologna, we'll give you a little bit more money, but instead of giving you all the money up front, can we do it over 3 years? So this has been confirmed by David Ornstein. David Ornstein says Manchester United will pay £35.7 million for Joshua Zirkzee, and they will stagger the payments to Bologna over a 3-year period. He says, had they triggered the release clause of 34 million, they would have had to pay it in full up front. So this is really clever business by Manchester United, because it effectively means we've only got to give Bologna about 11.5 million pounds, this summer. 11.5 million this summer, 11.5 million next year, and then 11.5 million the year after. The reason they do this is it will allow us to spend more money this transfer window. It will allow us to go and buy other players. Whereas, as I said, if we had to give them all the money up front, it would have really caused problems for us financially. So we've only technically paid them 11.5 million. The rest of the money will come in installments across 3 years. So that's really good. Very clever business. Fair play for Dan Ashworth and Ineos for negotiating that deal. Because sometimes like clubs say, no, we want the money now. Give us the money or you're not getting him. But they managed to negotiate this deal. He's on a 5-year deal with the option of 1 extra year. So he signed till 2029. Apparently his wages are going to be around £100,000 per week, which is a lot of money. I know a few people were asking me in the comment section earlier, like, how much is he getting paid at Bologna? He only gets paid about 20k a week at Bologna. So we have given him a massive pay increase, but he's 23 years of age. He's in the Netherlands national team. He's obviously played at Bayern Munich before. He's won the Champions League. He is a higher profile player than what Rasmus Højlund is, as an example. Rasmus Højlund's on about 80k a week. I think Zirkzee probably does deserve a little bit more. So I've got no issues with the wages. I think, 100k a week is a fair wage, but obviously let me know in the comment section. And what I want people to do, right, which I would really appreciate, is get in the comment section and say, welcome to Joshua Zirkzee. Let's do it. Somebody in the chat saying I should do a t-shirt giveaway. Yes, I have decided earlier on today, right? When we hit 30k subscribers, I'm going to give away 2 Manchester United shirts. So make sure you subscribe. When we hit 30k subscribers, I'm going to give away a Joshua Zirkzee shirt, and I'll give away whoever our next signing is. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you get involved. I'll do a video competition at some point when we hit 30k. one Zirkzee shirt and one probably De Ligt shirt. He'll probably be the next signing. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Get involved. So yeah, just to finish up on that bit of the show, David Ornstein has confirmed that Joshua Zirkzee will undergo a medical at Manchester United on Friday. As I said a couple of minutes ago, he is expected to land in Manchester later on today. There's already people tracking his flights and checking the private jets and stuff, which is always good fun. But yeah, so the medical will be tomorrow. We're expecting an official announcement from the club, which will be him wearing the shirt, him probably doing a short interview, him speaking to Erik ten Hag, all of that good stuff tomorrow. So yeah, really, really happy about that. He is expected to then go on holiday for a week. So we won't see him in action against Rosenborg on Monday, but we are expecting to see him on the flight to New York for our first game against, I think we play Arsenal, don't we, in the first pre-season match of the America tour. We've got Arsenal, Liverpool and Real Betis. So yeah, he will be on that flight. So that's really, really good. Happy about that. Right, let's have a look at the chat quickly. We've got over 800 people watching the show live, which is absolutely incredible. Big ups to every single one of you. If you could do me one small favour and smash a like, that would be really, really appreciated. I've set a likes target of 1,000 likes for today's show. So please go and like the video if you haven't already. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel. As I said a couple of minutes ago, when we hit 30k subscribers, I'm going to give out a Joshua Zirkzee shirt and also another shirt with the name on the back of whoever we next sign. So if it's Ugarte, it will have his name on the back. If it's De Ligt, it will have his name on the back, etc. So make sure you subscribe. I'll let you pick whichever shirt you want. I don't, long sleeve, short sleeve, whatever. I'll probably buy myself one as well at the time. So yeah, I'll probably get the white one with the red on it. But anyway, let's get back to football. Okay, so people were asking about Lenny Yoro in the chat. So let's jump straight onto that. So this is coming out from a Real Madrid, a very reliable Real Madrid journalist. It's a bit of a tongue twister, that. And he is reporting this evening that Real Madrid have now made alternative plans for the central defender spot should their efforts to sign Lenny Yoro be unsuccessful. And then there's a whole article about it. And it shows you all the other players that apparently Real Madrid are now targeting. They are looking at, I don't know if people care about this, they're going to try and sign Mario Gila from Lazio. I've not heard of him personally. Apparently Juventus want him, Bayern Leverkusen want him, a couple of other people want him as well. So it looks like Real Madrid are starting to make alternative plans for the centre-back position. Obviously, we know that Manchester United have had a £42 million bid accepted by Lille for Lenny Yoro. We're still waiting to find out whether Lenny Yoro will accept Manchester United's terms. I don't think the wages and stuff will be a problem, realistically, because Man United are obviously going to give him a massive pay increase, aren't they? There's no doubt about that. Lenny Yoro currently earns at Lille, are you ready for this? £5,000 per week, Lenny Yoro. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? And you can see why he wants to leave Lille. Realistically, he's got 1 year left of his contract. If he comes to Manchester United, I think he'd probably earn 60k a week at the minimum, and he's currently only earning 5k a week. So I still think there's a strong chance we'll sign Lenny Yoro, to be honest. And I think Real Madrid's stance of either you sell him to us for 17 million or we sign him for free next year, I think it might actually kick him in the face, because they've apparently communicated with Lille and said, we're not going to give you a penny more than 17 million. Either you sell him to us now, or we'll take him from you for free next year. And I really, really do hope and pray that Manchester United get this deal over the line, because Lenny Yoro would be an unbelievable signing for Manchester United. It would be such a statement of intent. There are some murmurs that apparently Manchester United are looking at playing a back five next season, I saw today. So that would be 3 centre-backs, a left wing-back and a right wing-back. That might explain why we're looking at 3 centre-backs, because apparently Manchester United want to sign, regardless of outgoings, apparently they want to sign 3 centre-backs this summer. And the only real reason that you'd probably do that is if you were going to play a back five, I think. But we'll wait and see what happens. I know Erik ten Hag has done a back five in the past, but we'll wait and see what happens with that one. There is still obviously the potential as well that we're using this Lenny Yoro bid as a way of trying to bring down the Jared Branthwaite price. That is a strong possibility that some people are saying. But what I've been told is that Man United do want to sign 3 centre-backs this summer. They do want to sell Maguire. They do want to sell Lindelof. And it looks like Willy Campoala is going to leave as well. So, you know, we lost Varane. he's gone. If Maguire goes, Lindelof goes, and Willy Campoala goes, that'll be 5 centre-backs gone. You'd literally only be left with Martinez, Johnny Evans, and Luke Shaw, who can cover as left-sided centre-back. That's all you'd have left. So I think 3 centre-backs is actually kind of the minimum that we should be looking at. And Dan Ashworth should be going into Carrington and actively looking to move on Lindelof and Maguire. This isn't an anti-Lindelof and Maguire channel, by the way. This isn't a toxic channel. The reason that I think those 2 players should leave is because they only have 1 year left of their contract. If we don't sell Lindelof and Maguire now, they'll leave for free next year. So when you look at it like that, we either get some money for them now or we get nothing for them in 12 months' time. Plus, we have to pay their wages. Harry Maguire earns 200 grand a week at Man United. Crazy. And I think Lindelof's on over 100 as well. So there's a really difficult job here for Dan Ashworth and Ineos to do, and to really try and move these players out and hope that then we can then bring in 3 more people. That's kind of got to be the expectation. But obviously I'll keep you updated as and when we get more news on the centre-back situation. But as it stands at the moment, Lenny Yoro is currently making up his mind about whether he wants to join Manchester United, and Real Madrid are now apparently exploring alternative options because they are concerned about whether they'll be able to get the deal done this summer. And apparently David Alaba is injured until 2025. That Nacho guy's just left. So Real Madrid are really short in the centre-back position. I was doing some research about it earlier. So they can't really wait a year for Lenny Yoro. They will have to sign someone this summer. So we'll wait and see what happens with that one. But yeah, fingers crossed, Lenny Yoro to Manchester United is happening. I think we still have a strong chance, but obviously we've got to wait and see what happens. We've got over 1,000 people watching the show live now, which is absolutely amazing. Big ups to every single one of you. If you have just joined the video, please smash a like. Let's try and see 1,000 likes on today's show. If everybody who's watching now likes the video, we will hit that target. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I've just said a couple of seconds ago that I will be giving out 2 Manchester United shirts when we hit 30,000 subscribers. So if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe. It's completely free content. And yeah, you might be in with a chance of winning a Manchester United shirt, hopefully very, very soon. But right, let's move on from that. I've got some more news for you that is on outgoings. Donny van de Beek has officially left Manchester United. The deal has been completed. There's pictures of him in the shirts and all the rest of it. He has moved to Girona on a permanent deal. The deal is worth 500,000 euros. I know, it's not great, but there are add-ons which could make the deal go up to about 15 million euros. I wish Donny all the best. I feel bad for him. He's another player that had such high potential, came to Manchester United, and unfortunately we ruined his career. I know he had some nasty injuries. I know he didn't have the best of luck, but from the beginning of Donny van de Beek's time at Man United, I never really felt like he was actually wanted. I never felt like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer actually valued or respected Donny van de Beek. He didn't give him opportunities, but the Manchester United fans love Donny van de Beek. They did. And the Manchester United fans will always back their players. They will. When you go to Old Trafford, even the people sat on the bench, the fans will cheer them. Even on the last day of the season when Anthony Martial was leaving, they were all still singing his song, even though he's been sat on the bench doing nothing all season. So big ups to the Manchester United fans. I'm really glad for Donny. I know 500,000 euros is an absolute joke. I know people are probably looking at this thinking, you know, we're no better now than we were before. But the thing you have to remember with this is, we've saved a lot of money off the wage bill. Donny van de Beek was on big money. He was on about 120 grand a week, which in wages across a year was about £6.5 million. So although the transfer fee was small, we have just saved £6.5 million off our wage bill. When you add that up to Varane's wages, Varane was on about 20 million a season. Martial was on about 10. Martial, Donny and Varane combined were earning around £40 million a season, and that's gone. That's wiped off the wage bill. £40 million. Just to put that into context for you, right? I was doing some research the other day. The whole of Luton's Premier League squad combined earned 20 million a year for the whole squad, for a £20 million squad. And Donny van de Beek, who was on loan at Frankfurt, Martial, who was injured all year, and Varane, who was injured for half of the year, combined earned double the amount of the whole of Luton's squad. And one of Manchester United's biggest problems under the Glazers has been giving out stupid contracts. And what I've seen from Ineos so far is their ability to remove players that aren't needed anymore. They're being ruthless. Varane could have easily stayed and we could have not signed another centre-back, but they said, no, he's too old. We don't want to give him a new contract. We don't want to keep paying him 350 grand a week. You're gone. Martial. The Glazers would have probably kept Martial if they were still in charge of the sporting side. They would have said, oh, we love Martial. Keep him. You know, so we have to give Ineos some credit here because they are being pretty ruthless in removing the players. Obviously, we've got to wait and see how the rest of the window pans out. I'm expecting people like Maguire to go. I'm expecting Lindelof to go, etc., etc. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens in the next couple of days. Donny van der Beek is gone. I wish him all the best. Thank you for your service. And I'm sorry that we ruined your career. And I hope, Donny, that you go to Girona and you start enjoying football again. You don't get injured. I only wish Donny van der Beek the best. There is no resentment, no hard feelings. So yeah, I'll obviously be watching him and seeing how he gets on at his next club. Okay, let's move on from that though. I've got some more positive news for you. There is so much good energy around Manchester United at the moment. I had to pinch myself earlier. Like, it doesn't feel real. Do you know what I mean at the moment? It really doesn't feel real. It actually feels like we're being run like a proper football club at the moment. To put into context, last summer, our first signing wasn't until the end of July, and that was Rasmus Højlund. It's the 11th of July and we've already signed someone. And I know people will say, oh, why are you excited about that? Ugarte, De Ligt, Dani Olmo, we're going to talk about in a minute, a new left back. Like, we are making moves at the moment. Lenny Yoro bid accepted. We are making moves, and it doesn't really feel real that this is our club after what we've seen over the last decade. You know, it's been so bad. But yeah, let's move on to, this other positive story I've got for you today. And Manchester United on their official website have confirmed that Ruud van Nistelrooy and René Haak have joined Manchester United as assistant managers to Erik ten Hag. Let that sink in for a minute. Ruud van Nistelrooy is back at the club. Honestly, it's amazing. It's so good. Steve McLaren is still here in a different role. Mitchell van der Gaag is gone. He's left. I don't have a problem with that. Like, Mitch, I don't know what it was with Mitchell van der Gaag. He just didn't really inspire me, like, being completely honest. And I always used to see him driving in the videos of him driving around in like a yellow Lamborghini, and I was just a bit like, I don't know. And Benny McCarthy is gone as well. So Benny McCarthy gone, Mitchell van der Gaag gone, and Ruud van Nistelrooy and René Haak have now been appointed as Erik ten Hag's assistant managers. I mean, that's just absolutely amazing, isn't it? So good. So good to see videos of Ruud van Nistelrooy back at Carrington again. And I just hope and pray that now that we're building this elite team around Erik ten Hag, that our football goes up a level. Because it's going to be so disappointing if next season we don't do well. The mood is amazing. Is there anybody in the chat tonight who doesn't feel positive? Let me know. Like, I feel so happy to be a Manchester United fan at the moment. This last season has been so miserable, so depressing, and it really, really gets you down, doesn't it? Whereas now, I'm on cloud 9. I feel incredible. I honestly do. Hence why I've just said I'll give out 2 shirts. I mean, 2 shirts is probably going to cost me like 200 quid, and I've just committed on this live video, which I can't now turn back on, to give out 2 shirts when we hit 30k subscribers. I don't think I would have done that this morning, to be honest, but I feel so positive. And I hope you guys do as well, because we've been on an absolute roller coaster over the last 10 years, guys. And last season particularly was so bad. And I feel amazing. But let's do a poll, shall we? Let's do a poll. Whilst I'm setting up this poll, if everyone could do me a favour and smash a like, that would be really appreciated. I've set a likes target of 1,000 for today's video, so please go and do that. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe. I'm live every day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6. And I've just stupidly agreed on a live video that when we hit 30k subscribers, I'm going to give out 2 of the new Manchester United shirts. I think I'm just a bit excited about all of the news, but I will do that at 30k. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Let's do this. So we're going to do you feel positive about the future at Manchester United? Let me have a sip of my water. Get involved in the poll. You can let me know in the comment section. The question is simple. Do you currently feel positive about what the future lies for Manchester United? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I do. I feel really, really happy. I think we're going in the right direction. And yeah, the future looks bright. So just to finish up on the bit about Ruud van Nistelrooy, Erik ten Hag has been asked about it, and he says, "I'm delighted that René and Ruud have agreed to join our project. They add a wealth of experience, knowledge, and new energy to the staff team. Now is a good time to refresh the coaching team as we look to build on the achievements of the past 2 years and push to the next level." I completely echo this, and I just hope and pray that Ruud van Nistelrooy and René Haak take us to that next level, and I think they will. I honestly feel confident that they will. But let's move on from that, though. Let's talk a little bit about Dani Olmo. This story caught me by surprise, completely out of nowhere. But the story is there. It's being reported by multiple different journalists this evening. We've got some in France, some in England, some in Spain. And the headline is this, that Manchester United are now pursuing a deal for Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo's apparently got a release clause of 60 million euros, which is, let's have a look, in pounds, that is about 50 million pounds. Fabrizio Romano's also said something on it. He says that apparently Dani Olmo's release clause is valid until the 20th of July. He says that the clause is worth 60 million euros. We've got another journalist saying that apparently Man City have now pulled out of the race to sign Dani Olmo. They're not interested anymore. And apparently Manchester United and Bayern Munich are the ones to watch for the Dani Olmo transfer. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. If we signed Dani Olmo, that would be mad. He has been so good at the Euros for Spain. Absolutely unbelievable. Now, being completely honest here, I think if we signed Dani Olmo, that would probably mean Bruno was leaving, right? Like, you can't really bring in Dani Olmo and have Bruno Fernandes at the same time. They both play in the same position. They're both going to want to start every single game. And that's the impossible question that I'm going to ask you. If you had to pick between Dani Olmo and Bruno Fernandes, who do you go for? Dani Olmo's 26. Bruno Fernandes is 30 next month. Now, my stance on it is this. I think Bruno Fernandes is a better player than Dani Olmo at the moment. But if you could get crazy money from Saudi for Bruno Fernandes, we're talking £100 million here. And then you could go and get Dani Olmo for only £50 million. I would probably do it. If I said that to you, right? Bruno Fernandes leaves, Dani Olmo joins, and you get £50 million. I probably would do it, to be completely honest with you. But in reality, there are so many if, buts, and maybes with that sentence. Does Bruno want to go to Saudi? Maybe he doesn't. Would Dani Olmo want to join Manchester United? Maybe he doesn't. How much money would the Saudi clubs offer? Like, etc., etc., etc. My stance on Bruno has always been this. He probably is our best player. But he does turn 30 next month, and he does want a new contract. He's currently earning 250k a week at Manchester United, which I think is a lot, but fair. He wants to be the highest earning player at Manchester United. Our current highest earner is Casemiro on 350k a week. So if we were to give Bruno Fernandes a new deal, he would want 350k a week on probably a 4 or 5 year contract. People are asking me to do a poll. Yeah, go on then, I'll do a poll. Everyone who's watching the video back on repeat, you can let me know in the comment section. I'm going to do a poll this. Who would you rather? Bruno Fernandes, Dani Olmo. So yeah, it's a really, really difficult one because I don't really see a world where we have Dani Olmo and Bruno Fernandes in the team. Like, it just doesn't make sense. How would that be possible? But yeah, it's a really, really hard one. And I've said my piece on it. I think to summarize that section, if we could get the money, big money from Saudi for Bruno and he wanted to go, I think you probably would have to do it. And if then we could replace him with Dani Olmo, I think it would be really, really good business. But as I said, there's loads of if, buts and maybes. But the headline is that Manchester United are now pursuing a deal for Dani Olmo, £50 million release clause. This is being widely reported from lots of different people. Obviously, we're going to have to wait until after the Euros to find out what happens here. But yeah, it's been reported by lots of people, Fabrizio, Ben Jacobs, a couple of other journalists as well. And Manchester United are one of the names being linked to him alongside alongside Bayern Munich. Man City are officially out of the race for Dani Olmo. So yeah, get involved in the poll. Let me know who you would prefer to have if you had to pick one option. Joe says, Kieran, if Bruno is out even after a few seasons, who do you think will be our next captain? Oh, that's a hard question. Who should be our new captain if Bruno left? I mean, some people say Diogo Dalot. I think Dalot has a strong case for it, to be fair. I honestly don't know. That's another good question. Thanks for that. Let me know in the comment section. If Bruno Fernandes left Manchester United, who would be the new captain? I could see it being like Luke Shaw or something. I don't know. I don't think Luke Shaw should be it, but I could imagine someone like Luke Shaw being a captain. I mean, to be honest with you, the captain of Manchester United, not immediately, but in the next few years, should be Kobbie Mainoo, realistically. Marcus Rashford doesn't have the right attitude. Like, he should be the captain of Manchester United, Marcus Rashford, shouldn't he? You know? For a long time, he was our best player. He's come through the youth academy. He's a local lad, all the rest of it. But he just doesn't have the right attitude to be a Manchester United captain. Whereas if Kobbie Mainoo continues on the development path he is at the moment, I easily think he could be the next captain of Manchester United. Not immediately. I'm not saying this year. I mean, like in the next few years. But yeah, let me know what you think about that one. Okay, let's move over to Matthijs de Ligt then, shall we? Because it looks like Manchester United are going to get this deal done very, very quickly as well. This is being widely reported this evening that Manchester United are now close to agreeing a deal with Bayern Munich for Matthijs de Ligt. Apparently, de Ligt has communicated with Bayern that he wants to leave the club this summer and that he only wants to join Manchester United. The deal is apparently going to be worth 50 million euros. That's total package, including add-ons. No problem with that whatsoever. The breakdown will be about £35 million up front, with around £7 million in add-ons. De Ligt is going to take a pay cut. Amazing. Great. And apparently what Manchester United are doing at the moment is offering players incentive-based contracts. This is what we should have been doing for years. This is what Arsenal do. This is what other top football clubs do. So the players will earn a base rate, for example, 100 grand a week, and they'll have incentives in their contract. So if they keep a clean sheet, they'll get this much. If they get an assist, they'll get this much, etc., etc. So yeah, he's apparently going to take a pay cut. He'll join Manchester United. Medical will probably be next week. This deal is expected to be concluded very shortly after the Joshua Zirkzee deal. Obviously, there isn't a release clause, so it's a little bit more complicated to get over the line because effectively it's a negotiation. But Man United are now in advanced talks with Bayern Munich. So I would say worst case scenario, we'll probably have this deal done at the beginning of next week, and he'll probably then do his medical. That's my understanding anyway. But obviously, I'll keep you updated as and when we get more news on Matthijs de Ligt to Manchester United. I'm just so happy about it. I really, really am. We've got over 1,200 people watching live now, which is amazing. I think that's one of the most we've had this transfer window. Everyone who's just joined, if you could do me a little favour and hit the like button. We are halfway to our likes target of 1,000. And we are now very, very close to 28,000 subscribers. I stupidly agreed to give out 2 Manchester United shirts when we hit 30k. So if this is your first time watching, please go and subscribe. And you will be in a chance you'll be in with a chance to win a Manchester United shirt when we hit 30k subscribers. The final bit of the show I've got for you tonight is about Manuel Ugarte. And the headline this evening is that Manchester United are now in deep discussions with PSG and the agents of Manuel Ugarte over a permanent transfer. It says the conversations are ongoing. This has been widely reported. And apparently, PSG are going to use the money to go and sign João Neves from Benfica. Manchester United have effectively pulled out of the race to sign the Portuguese wonder kid. So João Neves to Manchester United is not going to happen. I don't think it ever really was, to be honest. I think £100 million on one player is ridiculous. When you think that we're going to get De Ligt for 35, Zirkzee for 34, that is 69 million combined, and we might potentially get Ugarte for about 38. We're pretty much going to get Ugarte, De Ligt, and Zirkzee for the same amount of money as what Benfica wanted for João Neves. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? And when you think about how many players we need in our first team squad, we probably need 6 or 7 first team players, realistically. So it made zero sense from Manchester United's perspective to blow 100 million on an 18-year-old who's still just a prospect. Whereas PSG, they can throw the money about. 100 million for them is nothing. They've spent 200 million plus on players before. So yeah, I think it makes a lot more sense for PSG to do that deal than Manchester United. But yeah, I'll keep you updated on that. So that's the latest on João Neves. Billy says, that's not stupid, that's generous of you. Yeah, you're probably right, actually. I don't know why I'm saying giving out shirts is stupid of me. I think it's just, I do like to give back and I feel positive at the moment. I really appreciate all the support the channel's received over the last couple of weeks. I appreciate everyone who puts in comments and all the rest of it. So yeah, 2 Manchester United shirts are up for grabs once we hit 30k subscribers. I'm not sure exactly how I'll give them away. It'll be some sort of competition. But yeah, if anybody has any ideas on how I should give them away, let me know. And I will get that organised for you. Right. Let's have a little look in the live chat and see what everyone's saying this evening. Quite a few people are saying they feel positive about the future of Manchester United. That's great to hear. I do as well. Somebody saying that Martinez is too short. Okay. I mean, I don't think he is, mate, but fair enough. Martinez is one of the best central defenders in the world at the moment. I don't know where the too short narratives come from, but that's obviously fine if you think that. Right, let's have a look at what else people are saying. Get your comments in, get your live chats in. I will read out some before the end of the show. People are already telling me what shirt they want. There you go. Everyone's getting excited. Everyone's getting excited with the shirts. Angus says, great show tonight. Love the energy and comments. Thank you very much. Amnat's asking about Sofyan Amrabat. Right, so in relation to Sofyan Amrabat, the news is the same as it was a couple of days ago. Apparently, Fiorentina have told Manchester United that if they want to sign him, it will cost £12 million. I think it's a bargain. I really, really do. But when you look at some of the names that we're being linked to at the moment, and you see the rate that Ineos are working at, I think Amrabat's a backup option, to be completely honest with you. I don't think Manchester United's dream is to sign Sofyan Amrabat. Otherwise, they would have done it. There are other clubs interested in him. He does have interest from multiple different teams, right? If Manchester United really, really wanted Sofyan Amrabat, they would pay the 12 million. So I feel like at the moment, Amrabat to Manchester United is probably quite unlikely because it looks like they want Ugarte, they want Lenny Yoro, they want Zirkzee, they want De Ligt. Apparently they now want Dani Olmo. Like, where do we draw the line? I personally think that the more likely option is that we go for Adrien Rabiot. We spoke about him on the show earlier on today. Apparently Man United have expressed interest to his agent, which is his mother, about signing him as a free agent. He wants ridiculous wages, though. Apparently, he wants about 250k a week. I kind of hope that Manchester United don't sign him, but at the same time, I kind of want them to. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but I think Adrien Rabiot would be a good player for Man United. I just think giving him 250k a week is a stupid decision. Now, you could counteract that by saying, well, you're not going to pay a transfer fee. So, although you're paying him massive wages, like, you're not actually technically paying anything for him in a fee. So, yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with that one. But you can let me know in the comment section, actually. What would you prefer? Sofyan Amrabat for £12 million or Adrien Rabiot as a free transfer, but we have to pay him 250k a week? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Which one would you go for? I don't know. I've asked the question and I can't answer it. The thing is, right, with me, I work with numbers. My brain is quite analytic. So to answer the question, I would need to work out how much it would cost us to pay Rabiot over 3 years versus how much it would cost us to pay Amrabat plus his transfer fee. Does that make sense? So if it works out about the same, I would go with Rabiot. But I just have this feeling that even though Rabiot would be free, I feel like his wages would be so high that over like a 3-year period, we'd be paying him probably ridiculous amounts of money. Whereas Amrabat, I think, was only on about 50k a week. So it is a big, big difference. But yeah, you can let me know in the comment section. Who would you prefer, Sofyan Amrabat or Adrien Rabiot? Somebody says, Kieran, you should just go to Carrington. The journalists will all think you're Amrabat. I know. People have said it to me before. I remember this time last summer, right? People were begging me not to go to Manchester Airport because they said that the journalists would go into an absolute frenzy because they think that Amrabat had arrived on the plane. I either get called Amrabat or Eric Ten Hag, and I'll take it. I don't mind. I'm happy. I have no issue with it whatsoever. Maybe I should get when I get my shirt, right? When we get the 30k subscribers and I buy the 2 shirts for the people in the chat, maybe I'll get Amrabat on the back of my shirt for a laugh. Why not? Now, I should probably get like Daily Red Devil or something and frame it and put it up here. Like, that would be more sensible, wouldn't it? Than having Amrabat, a player who probably won't even be here next season, written on the back of my Man United shirt. But yes. Okay, people are asking me about the left back, Kadioglu. Unfortunately, it's the same story as it was a couple of days ago with Kadioglu. Apparently, Manchester United have approached Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce are asking for around 25 million euros, which is about 20 million pounds. The issue Manchester United have is that Jose Mourinho is the Fenerbahce manager. Jose Mourinho doesn't want to sell Kadioglu. And I think that's where the problem arises here, to be completely honest. I personally don't think we'll get Kadioglu. I have this feeling, right, that we will go in for Branthwaite again. Because I said this on the show this morning, right? Branthwaite can play at left back. People forget about that. People forget that Branthwaite played for the whole season at Everton as their left back. So there's a really, really good opportunity here for Manchester United to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. If they bring in Branthwaite, you can have him at left back, and obviously he's a centre back as well. So you're getting 2 players for the price of 1, really. And I think if they do that, they wouldn't then have to sign another left back. So I can understand why Manchester United keep bidding for Branthwaite. I try and look at everything in a methodical way. I don't sit at the camera and scream like, it's a disgrace. Why are we bidding for Branthwaite again? Get him out, blah, blah, blah. Because at the end of the day, we're just football fans. The people who are running Manchester United now are experts. They've been doing it all of their lives. The Dan Ashworths, the Omar Baradas, the Sir Dave Brailsford, except maybe not Sir Dave Brailsford to be fair, but the others. So I always try and just like take a deep breath and understand why Manchester United are going to put in a third bait for Branthwaite. We had 1 bid rejected. We go and put another in, it's rejected. Like, why are they not walking away? And the only reasons that I can really, really pinpoint are that they need a new left back, Manchester United, and they've identified Branthwaite as somebody who can play left-sided centre-back, right-sided centre-back, and at left-back. He ticks 3 boxes. And he's English, which helps with your homegrown quota. It could mean that you could move on Maguire. Maguire's obviously homegrown. Let him go. You bring in Branthwaite, he's homegrown. So, it's a bit of a strange situation here. But, yeah, Josh is saying that Branthwaite played at left-back. Yeah, he did, yeah. Let's see what else people are saying in the chat. Muzzy says you should get Daily Red Devil merch and save yourself a fortune. You can give away more because they will be cheaper. Would people actually want that though? I could do it. I could get it done. Let's do it. Let's ask a poll. I'm going to do a poll. Would you buy a Daily Red Devil football shirt? If I was to get some football shirts made, right? Say I sell them for like £30, £40, and I ship them worldwide, would people be interested in that? I don't want to do it if nobody wants it, you know? Like, it's completely fine if you're not interested. No problem at all. It would just be like a football shirt with a nice designed badge and maybe a sponsor, like a fake sponsor, something written on the front. I don't know. It's a cool idea, but I don't really want to do it if people aren't interested, you know? But it's a good idea. Thank you for that. Josh is saying that Branthwaite played at left back. Yes, he did. Stefan says, what do you think about Gahey from Crystal Palace? Would he not be a better signing? Gahey's a good option, but as I said just now, mate, obviously Branthwaite can play at left back. I don't think Gahey can. So I think Manchester United are just going to keep going in for Branthwaite, to be honest. You know? But we'll wait and see what happens with that one. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. It feels like a good place to end the show. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined me on today's video. Been an amazing stream. The mood is up here at the moment, and I hope you can see that from my videos. I've always tried to be positive on this channel. I'm never toxic. That's just not what this channel is about. It's a positive channel. Everyone's voices are heard. There's never any toxicity in the chat. It's always positive. There's never any negativity. So big ups to all of you for being part of this positive Manchester United YouTube community. I really, really appreciate you all. If you have enjoyed today's video, you can show your appreciation by smashing a like on the way out. Completely free, doesn't cost any money. And also, please do subscribe to the channel. As I said, I will be giving out 2 Manchester United shirts when we hit 30k, so make sure you get involved. Tell a friend. If there's any, why not? Big ups to everybody. I'll be back at 8:30 UK time tomorrow morning. If anything breaks between now and tomorrow, I will go live. Have a lovely evening, everybody. This has been Kieran on Daily Red Devil. Thank you and good night.